Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I'm your host, Ed Troxel, helping you, the coach or consultant, tuning in to get seen here online through live broadcasting. And today I'm super excited because, as you can see, we have a special guest, Megan, who is going to introduce herself in just a second. I'm so excited. Before we do that, I'll let you guys know, if you're tuning in on the replay, hello. Be sure to drop in the comments, say hello, and share this broadcast out with your friends and your network so that way we can connect and get to know each other. And if you like, feel free to drop in who you are and what you do. That's the catch. No links unless you're commenting throughout the broadcast. So, Megan, go ahead and let everyone know who you are.
Awesome. I'm super excited to be on your show today, Ed. So thanks for having me. Like Ed said, my name is Megan Huber, and I am a coach. I specifically work with other coaches, and I help them transition from a predominantly one-on-one coaching practice into transitioning to offering groups. So in my programs, I help coaches create their group coaching programs, market them, sell them, and then deliver them in the most effective way to their clients. So I am all things group coaching mastery over here.
I love it. And Megan and I had met online here through a networking group, and it was amazing because we started chatting and it was like just perfect. We talked about live broadcasting, of course, and that's what we're going to get into today is really how you guys can use live broadcasting, why you should be using it, and how you can start using it to build those relationships, to really start filling up your coaching programs and really get out there and build your brand. Because you hear me talk about it all the time, but it's always nice to have somebody else come in and talk about it as well. So, Megan, how did you get started? Like, where did your journey start?
As a coach or with video?
With video.
Okay, cool. So I'm glad you asked that question. I won't give the whole backstory, but I've actually had two coaching businesses. I started my first coaching business in early 2012, and I left that coaching business and went and worked full-time for another coach who has a multi-million-dollar a year, very successful, highly well-known coaching company. And while I was there from 2014, 2015, 2016. It was actually during that period of time where video started to become more and more popular, not just YouTube videos, but that was the time when Periscope came out. So this was before like Facebook Live time. And so I remember, as I was working there, we had like 200 to 300 clients in a year in our programs. And I started noticing certain clients were using Periscope. And they literally were using their phone. They started a Periscope account. And there's one of those clients in particular who now has gone on to have her own multi-million-dollar business. And she started going live on Periscope. And I remember I would sit at my desk and I would tune into her lives on Periscope every day. She did it every day. I'm not joking. It was every day. And over time, I would notice she's getting more and more hearts every single day. She's getting more comments every single time she goes live. She's getting more live viewers every time she goes live. So I'm sitting here as an observer watching all those numbers increase. Oh, like every single day, increasing. I mean, she started with nothing, right? She started with one, And then I watched this particular individual go from not even making $2,000 or $3,000 a month in her business. And by the end of the year in that program, she had made about $350,000 in that year. So she basically went from like struggling coach, feast or famine, going live every single day on Periscope without fail, giving value to her audience, building an audience, building relationships. And you could just see the way that she was talking to the audience. It's like they were at a party. It's like they were friends. It's like they knew each other. And so I would sit there and I would think in my mind, I'm not joking. I was like, I am a really smart woman. And it really made me reflect on, I'm working for someone else building their dream. And I'm watching these other coaches keep it as simple as going live. And my background's in teaching. So I already knew how to do it. I knew how to talk. I knew how to speak in front of people. And I was like, what am I doing? I could literally be a millionaire just using my phone and the power of video.
Right.
And so that's where the idea originally came from. It was watching other people take advantage of it. So when I parted ways with that company, I rebooted this business in January 2017. And I made a decision in December 2016, the number one way for me to grow my business, grow relationships, grow a community, it was through video. And it was just a decision to use it.
That, my friends, is key right there. If you listen to nothing else, listen to that part. The number one way was with live video. Like, that is what I try to educate my audience on. Whether they work with me or somebody else, it doesn't matter, but I just try to educate them on the power of live video and how simple live video really is. Like, if there's different levels, of course, and we've talked about this, I think even on your show, we talk about there's different levels of going live, but at the end of the day, it's just starting with literally your phone and going live. Like, whatever you have around you that's available, make it work, because you don't want to use all of these excuses of, I don't have the right mic, I don't have the right lighting kit, I don't have the big enough audience, who's going to listen to me. Like, there's so many things, you guys, that you will tell yourself, and that can be an excuse for you not to go live. Probably the number one is that you don't have time. Let's just put that out on the table. But it comes down to the fact that you literally just need to take your topic, grab your phone, and go live to get started, because that's what we did. You mentioned Periscope. Back in the day, that's where I started. I watched what was happening online. I paid attention to it. I said, listen, how am I going to make my business stand out online? I have to go live. I have to get good at this. Did I want to be on camera? No. Did I want to hear myself on the audio? No. I gave myself every excuse. But then I came back to, what's my goal here? My goal is to run a successful, sustainable business. So how am I going to do that? How am I going to be different? Yeah. I have to go live. And that's where I started.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, to me, being on video breaks down so many barriers that we have when we're growing our business. And anybody who teaches how to grow a business or teaches marketing or sales are always talking about the know, like, and trust factor. And we're always talking about being consistent over time. We're talking about inviting people into our world, our community, and nurturing those people. And I also am a really big believer. I've even had like professional copywriters say this to me, that it is 10 times harder to make a sale through a sales page or a series of written emails than if you would just have a real conversation with someone where they could hear your voice, they could see your face. And, you know, the absolute best way to make a sale is have a real, like, one-on-one conversation with someone. Well, like, what's the next best thing to move them to that conversation even faster? Go ahead and let them see your face. It is Facebook. It's Facebook. Facebook. They want to see your face. They want to see your smile. They want to be able to connect with your eyes. They want to see your body language. They want to hear your voice. They want to hear it. They want to use their senses. So there's so much power in the use of the video because you're tapping into more of the senses. I mean, I think it's easier to connect with people more emotionally, more talking to them like this, versus how do I convey that in a written email? How do I convey that in a post? It's easier to use video.
100%. And I will tell you, everyone tuning into this, even if you're watching the replay, I will tell you that that goes across the board. And for those of you who have, you know, let's talk about this for a minute, because this ties into what you were just saying. For those of you who are doing pre-recorded videos, you can raise your hand, drop an emoji in the comments. But if you're doing pre-recorded videos, how many of you are probably stuck in that mindset of, it's a lot of work? you have to get everything set up. You have to do all of the planning and making sure that everything's just perfect. And how many outtakes are you doing? You know, how many repeats are you shooting? Like, there's so much work that goes into the pre-recorded stuff, and there's so much noise going on behind like what you should be doing and how you should be doing it, that it's overwhelming. And that is also another reason why I think a lot of people don't use live, because they're stuck in that mindset and not realizing just how easy live is. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles. It literally, like you said, has to have you show up, deliver your information, and engage with your audience. That's what live is, and that's the beauty of live broadcasting.
Totally. And I started with my phone.
Yeah.
Just like you said, in 2017, the entire year, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I didn't use anything more than my cell phone. That was it. It was nothing fancy. And to your point, I mean, I think a lot of people do make themselves believe I have to look a certain way. But even more than that, I think what happens to folks is they think in their mind, my audience is going to think that I'm not further along. So I have to like present in a way that makes it look like I'm further along in my journey than I really am. And I get where that comes from. And also, like, here's the deal. Your audience also wants to see you not be perfect.
Yes.
You know, for instance, you'll appreciate this. I wanted to kind of challenge myself for the month of July.
Yeah.
And I decided I'm going to go live 31 days in a row in the month of July. So thank you, Ed, because this is my day 6 live. So you make it easier for me because this is my live for today. And I'm literally, and I'm not in my office every single day. I mean, I was on like some vacation with family last week, and I chose July because I know I'm doing a lot of travel. I'm running a retreat next week. I'm going to be at the beach with a friend. I'm going to be with family. Like in 2 weeks, I was just with family. There's like so many obstacles to me going live every single day. Yeah. Guess what? I'm picking up my phone. I'm literally finding a place that has good lighting near a window or outside. And I'm just picking up a phone and I'm connecting with the client. It's all about connection. It's all about building the relationships. And you have the power to do that with your cell phone. Yes. With your cell phone.
And it's so true. You know, that is the key, is that you guys, you have all the tools that you need. You have all the resources you need. You're here listening to us. You have all the information. All you need to do is pick your topic and go live. Because again, there's so many other things that you can do that maybe you should be doing, but right now, we just need to get you to start. That's all we need you to do. And then you can progress as you need to moving forward.
Yeah. And once you start, and I'm sure you had this experience as well, every single one of us, even if we have experience speaking in front of people face to face, like I was a teacher, I wasn't afraid to talk in front of people. I wasn't afraid to come up with lessons. I had been doing it as a career. But we're all afraid at first.
Yeah.
We're all scared. We all have our own story that's playing in our mind. Like, what are people going to think about me? What if I say the wrong thing? What if people judge me? And this one, I'm sure you hear this too. What if I go live and nobody shows up? Or what if I go live and nobody comments? Or what if I go live and I'm selling something and nobody buys? And the truth is, like, I'm sure bits and pieces of that story has gone through Ed's mind before. It goes through my mind. But to Ed's point, I'll just piggyback off that. Once you go live for the first time, what you're basically doing is you're showing that fear, and you're showing that doubt, and you're showing that worry. You don't have anything over me. You don't have anything over me. And you've got to kind of like show yourself, I can do hard things. I'm going to be okay on the other side of it. I'm going to be alive on the other side of it. And it creates this like sense of momentum, because once you take like one little step, you have to take the first little step for the next step to even get to the second step. You have to be able to take the first step. And I promise you, and I'm sure Ed feels the same way. Once you go live one time, you feel the power in that. And you have this desire to like keep going live and continue sharing your message. But you got to start, just like you said.
Yes. And I love that you bring that up, because that's the thing. Going live is scary. We get it. We know, we've been there. We've been doing this for a long time, you know. It's still, there still can be those days where you kind of like, oh, especially if you haven't gone live in a while, there's those moments where you're like, okay, we're back to square one. Like, let's pick it up and let's run.
Yeah, I feel that way.
Yeah, and it's just, it's always going to be there. But like you said, there's that part where once you go live, it's just like, wow, it is amazing. And then it builds your self-confidence. It grows you, you know, like that's why I always tell my clients, like, it's not just about getting a sale. Of course, we're all trying to stand out and we're trying to make a sale. That's part of the business. But it's so much more when you go live, because you're not only getting your business out there and getting it seen, you're also allowing yourself to personally grow. Like you said, build that know, like, trust factor much quicker than any regular social post or email or webinar. Like, all those things that we are told that we have to do and should be doing, if that's not comfortable and if that's not something that you can really do in the business that you have right now, if you're by yourself and you're doing all of the things, like, take a step back, breathe, and realize phone and going live on Facebook is all you need. And so really just think about that and keep listening to this message even on the replay, because it's so important for you and your business, especially right now during this pandemic. Because I had a conversation with one of my clients the other day, and this comes up a lot, but we were talking about them getting into more video and being able to do more of this live broadcasting and being able to just post more video in general. And the reason why they were excited, quote, excited about doing this is because their words were, I just want to stay top of mind, because so many businesses are not being seen or heard right now because they're not embracing social media. They're not using live video, and they're not staying top of mind with their customers or potential customers, potential clients, because they're not doing the work. And I realize that we all have so much on our plate with all the things in the world going on, but you have to realize that if you don't use the tools and resources you have available to you, people forget about you. And it's easier right now because so many people are at home scrolling through, and guess what? They don't know you. They're not paying attention. And so that's why it's super important to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable on camera and using live video, because it's going to take you to that next level.
Yeah. And you know, our future is created by what we're doing right now. You know, so the number of clients that any of us or any of you listening have right now, that is a direct reflection. That is the effect of the cause, which is you. So I always tell myself, whatever I did in the past 90 days, that's why I am experiencing the results externally I'm experiencing right now. It's whatever I did the last 90 days. So remember that, you know, the moment when you, and look, I chose to go live 31 days in a row, the month of July. For anybody who thinks that, like, that I want to do that every single day, and there's like not a moment where I'm trying to talk myself out of it. I tried to talk myself out of doing it Saturday, and I tried to talk myself out of doing it on Sunday. And I was like, oh, I could just host a watch party. Oh, nobody will notice if I don't show up live today. But then when that happens, and you notice, because that's your brain's job. Your brain's job is to keep you comfortable. Your brain's job is to keep you safe, is to keep you mediocre. The brain is not wired for growth. You've got to do that. The brain is wired to keep you right where you're at. So I had to dig deeper, and I had to think, like, what is my why? Why do I still have to go live? And I always go back to, because my audience expects that from me. My audience has a really high standard for me. I told my audience to expect me to go live 31 days in a row. If I don't go live just one of those 31 days, I've just lost all trust in my audience. So I do it. And I think that's really important, because like with Ed's experience, with my experience, our brain still tries to talk us out of it. Our brain still tries to tell us, I don't look good enough. I'm not good enough. I don't have anything to say. I've said this before. Nobody's going to show up. What if I don't make a sale? Like the same stuff goes through our heads. It goes through your heads. And you have to figure out like, what's the thing that you're going to like grasp onto in that moment when your brain is trying to talk you out of it. For what works for me is really recognizing and reminding myself, well, what is my why? Why do I still have to show up? Why do I still have to rock it? Why do I still have to press go live despite my fears, my worry, my doubt? Because am I going to let that get in the way of showing up and producing whatever future result I want to produce? I love a saying. I don't know who said this or where I got it from, but I say it all the time. And it's like, build relationships with people before you need them.
Yes.
Build relationships with people before you need them. So before you're like, holy moly, I better make a sale so I can pay my bills. If you haven't spent time building relationships with people, and what we're suggesting is tap into the power of live video for that, because it is the fastest way to build relationships with people. If you're being super wobbly and inconsistent, you're going to get to a point at some point in the future and say, holy moly, I need to make money. And you've got no audience, no relationships to really tap into, simply because you let fear, doubt, and worry get the best of you and you didn't show up consistently.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why, you know, even for me, why I do this, why I continue to show up, is because I have my show up, deliver, and engage. Like, that's my reminder. Those are the three things that I love teaching all of you, that those are the three things to our success in whatever we do. And for me, it's always been, I'm the only one that can show up. Like, that's my job. I have to show up. So once I do that and I deliver my message, then it's open, it's fair game for that engagement. But that engagement's never going to happen if I don't show up and deliver my information. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to do it through live. And that's my starting point. And so, yeah, it's the best way to build those relationships quickly and to be able to really use your voice. And as you said in the beginning, for those just tuning in, is that it's one of those things that allows us to see you,
yes,
to feel your energy, to see the smile, to hear that excitement in your voice, and to just really like charge you. I mean, you're not going to be able to get that in a regular post. You're not going to be able to get that in an email sequence. You know, you might get it in a pre-recorded video because, of course, it's video, but it's still not going to be the same as live video. And that's the power of live. It just really takes you to that next level and allows you to connect with people that you never even thought you'd be connecting with, both now and later. What I love about live video, and I don't know if this has happened to you, Megan, but for me, it's awesome because it constantly works for you when you're not live, meaning that it's just sitting there doing that organic rolling through the algorithm for us. Yeah. And I get people randomly that will comment, you know, on a couple weeks old video, a couple years old video. And it's like, whoa, like, how did you just discover that? Like, this is super cool, you know, because it doesn't have to always be in the moment. It's one of those things that it continuously works for you throughout your history here until you take it down. So it's like, it's for those of you who are like trying to work on that search engine optimization, that SEO, you know, the keywords and all these things, live video is going to help you with that as well.
Yeah, and I'll give you like a really simple example of that. So I have a Facebook group, and when I first rebooted this business in 2017, the two big decisions I made was, I'm going to grow my business through a Facebook group. So I'm going to build my community, and I'm going to go live. And I'm going to go live every week, a certain number of times a week. And so I made that decision super early on. So with that first year, I think I had done, I mean, it was more than 52 videos by the end of the year. It was more than it was more than what was equivalent to one video a week. I don't remember the exact number. Maybe it was like 60 or 70 or something. And so I didn't have any of those, all the videos, like you could just click on videos in my Facebook group and you could see all the videos. I didn't have them organized by topic in the unit section or anything like that. And actually I did this pretty recently, maybe 3 months ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I thought, you know what? I want to kind of like catch people's attention and re-engage with them with some of those older videos I did. I mean, some of these were trainings that were like 45 minutes long and they were good. They were really good. I mean, I was getting clients from these videos.
Nice.
And so I thought, you know what? I'll just sort of bump them up in my newsfeed so people see that they're here. Because people don't just go like hunt through your Facebook group just to go find stuff, right? Like people are not going to go look for things because it takes them time. It takes them effort and energy. So remember that about your audience. The minute they have to spend time, effort, and energy like looking for something, it's too much work and they just bounce. And so I thought I'm going to go through all my videos and I'm going to kind of like pick some top categories and some of my favorite videos that had the most engagement. And I'm just going to go create like 6 units inside of my Facebook group. And I'm just going to post the link to the videos. Well, when you do that, they all show up in your newsfeed. These videos are 3 years old. And I started watching people comment on these videos that were 3 years old. And I'm like, why did I not think to do this sooner? So to your point, those videos do live on forever. And just because you have one that's 3 years old, I went back and listened to some of my content and I was like, wow, I'm like creating new content all the time, which I'll never stop doing. But like, why am I not really capitalizing on putting this in front of people all over again? Because it was good. Yeah. It was really cool. It was a very cool experience for me to see. I just have to put it in front of people and then they start watching something, but they're seeing it for the first time. And I think that's what we forget, Ed. We forget like we said it one time. And so we think like it's irrelevant now. Yep. But you've got new people coming into your audience and your community every single day. You have new people. Well, they're experiencing your energy for the first time. Yeah. And that's the thing that I think people forget with video. They think that the energy is only there when people are with me live. Right. And if you're not getting me live, then it's like my energy doesn't even exist. But every time you shoot a video like this, like we're live right now. Yeah. But if you listen to this a year from now, you're still picking up on our energy. Our energy lives in the video forever. And that's a thing that people are really picking up on more, even more than the brilliant content that you're sharing. Right? Like, everybody wants to sound smart. Everybody wants, like, you better know what you're talking about. But the thing that your audience is really like connecting to like a magnet, it goes beyond how smart do I sound with what I'm talking about. Like, can I give people 6 steps? They want to feel you. They want to feel you. They want to experience you. And it's just like a bajillion times easier to do that, like you said too, than if you're just going to write it in an email and send it out to somebody.
Yes. And that's the beauty of being able to be live, is that you get to just be you, and people get to see that, and you attract more people. You know, one of the things that I actually start off with my clients is because everyone's always asking, well, what if no one shows up? And what if I only have, a couple of viewers here and there? I knock all that out of the park from the beginning, you guys. We don't care if anybody shows up. I mean, we do, but we don't, right? Yeah. Like, before you hit that go live button, here's a tip for you. Expect no one to show up. Done. Now we've taken something off of your shoulders, right? Now you can go live because you have your topic, and we've cut out all of the distractions and the excuses. And then now we just took off that other layer of, what if no one shows up? Expect no one to show up. So now you're good to go. So now you all can go live later today with your topic and be good.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it comes down to, is we have to remove those obstacles, and it's usually that one, and I don't have time. Time is another. I call it an excuse for us, because oftentimes it's one of those things, just like when you're trying to on a sales call, somebody might say, "Oh, I don't have the budget for this." Is it really the budget, or is there something else going on? You have to dig a little deeper. And when it comes to the I don't have time to do this, it's really, well, let's take a step back and see, what is it that you don't have time for? What do you think is going on here? Because if you're scrolling through Facebook or scrolling through Instagram, or you're doing, you know, this whole email series, whatever it may be, I guarantee we can find a few minutes to get you to go live. It's that you think you don't have time because you think it's going to be this full-on production and that everything has to be perfect. So therefore you're like, forget it, I don't have time. But we have to shift the mindset there.
Yeah. And I think people also will have that excuse of I don't have time because of whatever the subconscious belief is. Like, I don't have time is a really good excuse for, I'm afraid, like what you said, let's just use that as an example. I'm afraid if I go live, people won't show up. And if people don't show up, that means I suck.
Yeah.
So as long as I can say I don't have time, I always have that excuse.
That's a great point.
You know, or it's like, what if I go live, and everybody has their own, like, you know, niggly belief system stuff, but it's like, what if nobody comments, but then the person interprets that as nobody likes me.
Yes.
Nobody likes what I have to say. So as long as I keep saying I don't have time, then I don't have to face the possible reality, I guess, that like maybe somebody doesn't like you. Maybe somebody
rejection.
Like, yeah. What if nobody comes to your Facebook Live? Like, what are you gonna do? Quit?
Right.
I mean, and it happens to all of us, Ed. Like, I still go live sometimes and there's nobody there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the thing. I love that you brought this up. So for those of you really listening to this part and really wanting to shift and make that adjustment in your business and start getting into this mindset of I need to go live and actually doing it, I want you to also understand that there's strategy to all of this, right? And part of that strategy is understanding that, like we just said, one, don't expect anybody to show up. So then that way you start with no expectations. So if somebody does show up, awesome, you're ready to go. But that doesn't distract you. And two, really understand that, again, it's not just about going live. That's just the starting point. It's what happens after that. You know, I have in my program, I call it the live effect. And it's basically showing you what you do after the live broadcast, because so many of us get stuck on, well, going live and then nobody's showing up and I'm not going to do it again because I'm a failure. Nobody paid attention. Nobody shared it. No, this is just the starting point. It's the stepping stone to what comes next. And there's so many different avenues that it leads to, but you just have to get comfortable with going on to that first stepping stone and getting to go live, getting yourself to go live. Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing. And I'm so glad that you were able to share that experience, because that's a lot of us can relate to that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I even remember, especially in 2017, because that was my first year of going live all the time. And I was telling some of my clients this, I think it was last week, and they were kind of hesitating with going live. And I said, I can't tell you how many times I would sit here with my phone on my tripod. I had put in my topic or my title. I had pressed the go live button, like the, what element do you want to add to this? And you have to press that red camera on your phone first.
Yep.
There's another blue button that says go live, but you can see yourself in the camera. There have been so many times where I just sat here and I stared at the camera for like an hour. And I was like just playing this tape in my mind, just trying to like psych myself up to go live. And that was not like the first few times I went live. Right. I mean, this was like a year into going live and again, it's like whatever story you're telling in your head, it's connected to some sort of subconscious belief that's trying to stop you from growth and moving forward. But my point for sharing that story is I never let myself off the hook. So I don't care if I had to sit here for an hour before I pressed go live, I still pressed go live.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Nobody knew that I was sitting here for an hour. The audience didn't know that I sat here and worried about what they were going to think about me for an hour. The only reason they're going to know is because I'm telling you now.
Yep.
But nobody knows. But the key is don't build a back door for yourself. Don't give yourself an out. Don't just say, oh, I sat here for an hour, so now I don't have time. No, you still have to do it. You still have to do it. And so many people build what I call, it's how I describe it. They build a back door. It's like they walk in the front door and they go build a back door so they can walk out of it. And they give themselves two options. Either you can't give yourself two options though. Your only option is do it.
Yeah.
Do it. That's it. And then once you do it, and I know what you teach, Ed, too. It's like, you have to like get yourself going. You've got to take the first step and take the action and you've got to feel it in your body. You have to give yourself the experience of it. And it's like, then you can start really getting fancy and like planning out your Facebook Lives and figuring out how to like address people's problems and move people to a call with you. But I also think, and you probably experienced this too, it's like, don't try to bite off all that and have like this perfect sounding video that is just so well articulated where you're hitting this like formula. It's like, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too. Everybody wants a freaking formula. Everybody wants a script. And it's like, no, it actually doesn't start out that way.
Right.
You gotta like go first, and then we can kind of morph it and figure out this, like, whatever, your formula. I don't know. I'd love to hear you talk about that.
I love that you brought that up. Okay, so I hope all of you guys are tuning in and sharing this because this is going to be good. It already is, but here we go. So yes, what happens a lot of the times, and I see this a lot when people jump into Facebook ads with just their regular posts, and then they say, oh, Facebook ads don't work for me. Well, it's probably because you haven't tested enough your actual post. You don't have that right structure. You're trying to be too scripted or hit that formula or whatnot. When it comes to live broadcasting, there's really a simple, quote, formula, if you will, to what you need to do. One is don't be scripted. That's not how it works. Like this is live. Anything can happen. My camera could fall off the computer. What you're seeing, how you're seeing us side by side, and with the intro video and the banners and all that. This is like, quote, fancy, right? And this is not where you need to start. Like we said, we started with the phone. That's where we start. But we understand that it's not scripted. You really just need. Are you guys ready for this? Are you going to take notes here? Because this is key. All you need is one topic and up to 3 talking points. That's it. That is all you need for every live episode. And I refer to it as an episode because my job is to help you create your own live TV show here on Facebook. And so every time you go live, it's an episode. And so each episode, you really want to make sure that you're doing that structure because that's what's going to help you. Again, there's so much more around that, but that's just really the basics. And again, don't be too scripted. Some people want to get that teleprompter, there's apps for that, and you want to have everything on there. You just need to have the basics and understand that once you go live, people are going to start showing up in the comments. Maybe not the first day, maybe not the second day, but they're going to show up in the comments. And that's when you start getting that conversation going. That's when you start adding them on, the screen if you're using a system like I have, or when you're on your phone, you can just shout them out and say, oh, exactly, and just talking. It's all about a conversation. And as you brought up earlier too, Megan, we have to remember that social media is like a big networking party. It's a social place where we have those conversations with each other. And through those conversations is when we start asking, oh, what do you do? Oh, where can I buy that? How do people get in contact with XYZ? Like all of these different conversations start popping up and you can organically start to sell and really connect with your audience. But you don't come swinging out of the gate saying, hey, buy this from me. Because majority of people are probably going to be like, cool, we're going to go grab a drink. I'll see you later,
Yeah, I look at live video. Like one of the things that I teach, I love simplicity. So one of the things I teach my clients in terms of like, what am I supposed to be doing in my business every day so that it grows and it grows consistently and it keeps moving forward. And those 3 categories, all your activities fall underneath: inviting people into your world, nurturing people, and then making offers. Right? It's like if you evaluate your week at the end of the week and you look at those 3 categories and you just write down like invite, nurture, and make offers or sell or whatever you want to call it. And you just go through your week. How many of your activities actually fell into those 3 categories? And it goes back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of this conversation. Ed and I both made a decision at the beginning of our business. My number one strategy and tactic is live video. Yeah. So when I look at how am I inviting people in, how am I nurturing, and how am I making offers? For me, I better be doing live video every single week. And if I go a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and I'm not doing live video, then I'm actually not really doing my job, because I decided, well, live video is how I'm going to invite people in. Live video is how I'm going to nurture people. Live video is how I'm going to make offers. And that's one. And I don't do like 15 different things, but live video is one of the main ways. Yeah. But that's what I also want you to remember with this relationship building piece. Live video is a way for you to, yes, get attention and invite new leads in. It is also a way to nurture your existing audience, your existing community. I mean, I have a Facebook group. The number one way that I nurture the people who are already in that Facebook group is through Facebook Lives. I'll do individual lives. I also do like a 5-day series of lives on one certain topic. And it's also how I make offers and sell stuff straight from video, like sometimes even bypassing a sales conversation and sending people straight to a sales page. Yes. So live video is really hitting all 3 of those boxes for you. Now, it's not necessarily the only thing you do in your business is go live. There's other things to do as well. But like we said, it's like if live video is going to be like your main one thing, then make it your main one thing and figure out ways to use video every week to invite, to nurture, and to sell.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys are all taking notes on that, because that was gold right there. And it's so true. And I love how you also brought up the fact that it doesn't have to be the only thing that you do in your business. But again, when we look at all the hats that we wear and all the things that we need to do and all the places we need to be, we have to focus. We have to narrow down where we're going to show up. And if we can only focus on one thing, what's that going to be? And like I said, for me, that's the live broadcasting, because I know from there I can hit everything else from that spot. Yeah. For it. Yeah, so,
and I think, Ed, too, like that helps to eliminate this conversation people have in their minds around like, what am I supposed to do today?
Yes.
Well, if you decided that the way you're going to build your business and what you're going to master is live video, then even if you didn't know what to do today, just go do a live.
Yep.
Just go do a live video if that's what you decided. And I think that sometimes people don't know what to be doing in their business every day because they haven't made those decisions. You know, and if it's not, and I would also go a step further and say, what platform? Like, what's your revenue generating platform? Ed and I both chose Facebook, not because Facebook is the end all be all, right, but that's what we decided at the very beginning. I'm mastering Facebook. I'm mastering live video, which means I go live on Facebook. And if I ever don't know what I'm supposed to be doing one day, which at this point I don't have that problem anymore, but I see people have that problem, go back to, well, what did you say you were going to do? What did you choose? What was that one thing that you decided you were going to master to grow your business? And make that decision. So I see people also not letting themselves make that decision so that they can be in perpetual, I don't know what to do mode.
Yep.
Which again, it's like, it's helping them avoid whatever they're afraid of out here, rejection, judgment, people don't like me, I don't get client, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think Ed and I both, we've stressed it enough today. It's like, decide. You will be good at whatever you decide to be good at. You will master the thing that you choose to master.
Yes.
Even if you suck at it today.
I love it. And that's what you guys need to leave today with, is just make a decision. Decide what it is that you're going to do and just start doing it. Whether that's your live video, dominating, Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is that you're showing up, like find what works for you, but really understand that you got to start somewhere and just keep moving forward with that. And understand too, that it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to have a viral video. It maybe, but let's not set those expectations too high. Okay. You're not going to have that viral video. You're not necessarily going to have, 1 million followers start liking and sharing your stuff. Like, be realistic, and also understand that I kind of have a pet peeve with this is the numbers game. Is understand that when you want 100,000 followers or 1 million views, understand why. Like, why do you want those numbers, and what are those numbers really going to translate for you? Because oftentimes it's just that high number that people want, just to have that validation, like, check, we made it. But is there really a check in your bank account that shows that you made it? Like, really understand that those numbers don't necessarily equal dollars. And you have to, like you were saying, Megan, you have to invite people in. You have to nurture them. And you have to then make the offers and fall into those 3 categories. And that's super simple, simply laid out there for all of us. So really, really take that into mind, everyone who's tuning in, even if you're watching the replay.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. So Megan, tell us where people can find you and what you might be having going on right now. So then that way they'll be able to connect with you further after the broadcast.
Yeah, totally. So if you want to connect with my community and, join our Facebook group, we are a group of coaches, a community of coaches. And like I said at the beginning, I help coaches create, market, sell, and deliver their group coaching programs. So I have a Facebook group. The name of that is Structured Freedom for Impact-Driven Coaches. I do lives in there all the time. I run a 5-day masterclass called Group Coaching Mastery in there about every 8 weeks. But I mean, there's constantly value being provided over there and lots of people for you to network with and connect with. So I'd love to see you over there. And Ed, I'll send you this link and you can post it if you want. But I have a free 40-minute, it's just like me on camera talking, and I have a couple of slides. But what I talk about, it's really cool. I talk about how I basically am using the power of live video to convert even cold leads who are showing up to your live videos and buying what it is that you have to offer. I actually did like a little bit of a debrief on one of my like live launch series that I did back last year in August. And so I walk you kind of through that process so you can actually see how I was using the power of video and building a relationship to move people who were literally finding, like, did not even know who I was 2 days prior, were listening to my videos and engaging with me on those videos. And then I was selling stuff at the end of the videos, obviously. The whole purpose was to sell a program.
Yeah.
And we're buying even without getting on a sales call. That's the power of you being consistent on live video. So I'll give you that link and you can share that.
Yeah, I'll share it in the comments. So anybody who's tuning in live here, you'll have that in the comments. I also put, your Facebook page as well as that Facebook group you mentioned as in the comments. So anybody tuning in, you can always check the comments and you'll see it there as well.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, this has been so great having you on the show. I appreciate you taking the time, and I hope everyone tuning in learned a lot from this. And go check out Megan and connect with her because she's amazing. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge with all of us as well.
Cool. Thanks for having me, Ed. It was a pleasure.
Of course. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week. And I'm going to drop in the comments real quick that link that Megan just sent me. So let me drop that in there. Perfect. So go check that out. And if you guys need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. Send me a private message here or text me, and I will chat with you then. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.